All right. Well, Mr. Earl, let's start with you. Please tell us about the California Office of the Small Business Advocate.
Thank you, Assemblywoman, and it's a pleasure to be here and share the resources from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. And as you mentioned, we're a division within the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, where our primary mission is to serve small businesses and be the voice of small businesses. And so our missional objective is to make sure that small businesses have the information and resources they need. So when we do get new bills, we're the team that goes in and implements these different new bills that come out to support small businesses. So speaking of which was the technical assistance program where we have 100 centers across the state, but we're heavily focused in Southern California to provide free at no cost services. So this is hands-on services. You can walk right into our centers, or you can call or set up a virtual meet where you can engage with any of our advisors. We have 1,500 across the state who have many different skill sets, who can support you in your business needs across many different areas of business, from just waking up and you had a great idea in the morning to you've been working on something in your garage for many years and you're ready to take it out there and legitimize it, right? So we have a host of people, and then again, this is at no cost to the public, and this comes from the support of our legislature and our local elected officials. So really appreciate the support and the connectivity and the community that we all have to serve our small businesses. And then also, I can't be remiss without speaking about our state's advocate, Director Terrell Lynn Gray. She's the leader of our office, and she sets the stage and the path for our office to go and implement these programs, and really gives us the vision on how we can best approach serving our small businesses. And she does a lot of hands-on work with the Assemblywoman and others to really ensure that we have the appropriate work, the appropriate programs for small businesses. I myself, I serve the Southern California region, and I've worked with many different organizations, but within our technical assistance network, we support a host of different organizations. So some of which may be familiar to you all. I think the big name is SBDC, and that's the Small Business Development Centers, and they're an SBA funded program. But also we have the Women's Business Centers, which you spoke about, and they have a women's enhancement program where the $8 million a year really goes to amplify the services that the Women's Business Center network provides. And they really need the support. And so being able to provide that capital infusion to that program was really, really dynamic and really has been a game changer for them. Additional to that, we have other programs that focus on innovation as well as social enterprises and others, but also small business owners. We're talking about money, right? So our office, we also put out a lot of grants for small businesses. I will speak about one that is coming out here end of the week, and that is our small agricultural drought and flood relief grant program. We are coming out and opening up the last round of our drought. And so we had a $7 million set aside for late filers. And so within this round, we had two previous rounds that we funded out businesses, but this round we wanted to have a set aside for those late filers that may have been affected by the storms in 2023 or any kind of reason that just out of their control, right? And so with the different taxes and how the IRS kind of delayed things, we wanted to provide a little bit of cushion for those small businesses to get their documents in order. So there's a small set aside for those businesses, and we're planning to go out for that for round 3 here on the 31st. So that'll be Friday. And so we'll be issuing out grants. Grants will range at the smallest denomination is $20,000, and they'll range up to $100,000. And so please get engaged with our office. We have links on our website, and I'll post a link in the chat here for everyone as well. And so please reach out, and you can also reach out to our small business center networks and reach out to those centers and ask them and say, hey, what is this drought grant that Chris was talking about? They'll help you and kind of help you navigate through that and get to the best, to the application if that's where you want to go. And so in addition to that, we talk about innovation and California being a leader in innovation in the country. So I wanted to highlight the Accelerate California program, which is a innovation hub program throughout the state of California, where we've designated 13 regions across the state to provide no cost consulting as well as a support ecosystem for small innovators. So not only the technical assistance, but access to subject matter experts who can help you kind of take your technology forward, as well as potential other funding sources like non-dilutive capital through like grant programs or even through equity investments. And so our in an ecosystem of innovation hubs really aims to provide that really catered support to those types of organizations. And so in Orange County, we've designated Chapman University as our innovation hub. And so they've been tasked with pulling the regional ecosystem around supporting these innovators together. But we also have others throughout the other regions, throughout the other Jobs First regions in the state. So again, you can go to our office and I'll share the links here where you can get tapped into those programs, where you can get those no-cost services. And again, we really aim to bring in experts in their field that are really looking to give back and really support the next generation of entrepreneurs. So these are folks that have kind of been there and done that, and they can really give their expertise to supporting you as you move forward with your business endeavor. But lastly, just wanted to talk about disaster preparedness. That's our fourth and last initiative within our office, and we really aim to provide resources for small businesses so that they can have the tools and resources necessary so that they can be prepared for the next coming disaster. And as a business owner in California, I think it's just, just makes sense for all of us to kind of incorporate that into our strategic planning when we're looking at trying to operate through maybe potential business interruptions and things of that nature. So there's tools and resources that business owners can utilize at no cost to kind of help prepare themselves for any pending disaster, whether that's fire, earthquake, what have you. And so just wanted to share that. And so I'll close with that and just really wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to share resources from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. Thank you again.
Wow, that was a lot of information, and I thank you so much. Please say hello to Ms. Gray. She is a great leader in the office. Thank you for that. And I know, Mr. Earl, you're going to provide your email and information so that those who are participating can contact you. Thank you so much. All right, now let's move on to Ms. Anguiano. Ms. Anguiano, please tell us about the small business majority.
Yes. May I share my PowerPoint maybe just so I can stay on track on the good information that I have to share?
Yes. Whoever in charge, please let her make her co-host, please.
Just so I can make sure we stay on track on here because I do have a lot of great information to share. And I won't go into detail. If anything, I'd be happy to share this PowerPoint with all of you guys. Small Business Majority is a nonprofit organization where we support small businesses. We focus in 4 different areas: research, education, network, and advocacy. With research, we use scientific opinion polling. A lot of the surveys that we utilize it to support you, to be able to advocate for you on the state, local, and federal level. We also use this to be able to provide different types of resources for you in some of the issue areas. So the issue areas that we're constantly advocating for you as a small business owners are access to responsible capital. We talk about fair competition. This is where procurement, I heard procurement. This is something that we're constantly being able to advocate for you, that you are being offered these opportunities. We advocate for healthcare, retirement, licensing requirements, access to broadband, taxes, anything that will impact you as a small business owner. Know that we're here, that behind you, able to support you. With that being said, I do want to also encourage my small business owners to open more opportunities by becoming a spokesperson for you to speak up on your behalf of you as small business owner as well as others. This helps you become a small business. In this program, we help you become a spokesperson at no cost. If you need training, if you need any talking points, we're here to support you in those areas. We do have something called the California Small Business Council, where we have these these pictures. These are real small business council members that come with us and meet with us once a month, and they share some of the opportunities that they would like to excel, if there's any programs or if there's any funding or if there's any issues that we as a small organization don't know, because you guys are the boots on the ground, is something that we look into. And then the education, that's where I come in, right? I meet with small business owners. I identify some of the needs. A lot of the time it's access to capital, it's business planning, it's small business contracting. So if I find a trend, then I create programming around it and partner with other organizations such as the SBDC, the Women's Business Center, or anyone that might be able to speak on these topics. And then just to give you guys a quick spotlight of the different programs that we have offered Back to Basics, which is a cohort program for literacy. That was done in LA, but we are doing it in different areas of California. We also did Turn Your Side Hustle into a full-time job. A lot of people during the pandemic came up with a little side hustle, and they ended up booming, and they ended up doing it into a business. So we just wanted to make sure that we were providing you the correct tools that you needed for you to run that business successfully. And then Visualize Success. It's been an honor to actually say that we partner with the Inland Empire Regional Chamber of Commerce, as well as Assemblymember Reyes, where I have a background in visual merchandising, and I noticed that we have a lot of small business owners and pop-up events. So I taught them pop-up visual merchandising skills to be able to generate more sales. And very quickly, as I know I'm running a little bit out of time here, we have a platform or a tool called Venturize, where you just, very easy to use. You type in your zip code and it will pull up all the different resources around your area. These are pre-screened, and we make sure that there are low cost or no cost to you. And that's it. That is the end of Small Business Majority. I do want to invite all of you guys to join our mailing list, as we're constantly advertising any programs that our partners are offering, as well as grants and other programs that may benefit you as a small business. And that's it.
Well, thank you, Jessica. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I think I spoke a little too much at the beginning, and I cut into some of your time for both you and Mr. Earl. So my apologies for that. Well, thank you so much. And now to wrap up our presentations today, we have Mr. Aguilar and Ms. Warren, who will tell us about Impact Business Capital.
Good afternoon. So I too am going to share a screen here so we can share a little bit of information about Impact Business Capital. Also, in case you haven't noticed, any questions can be taken in the chat, and we will try to answer those at the end of the presentation. And I do not see that. Pardon me, I haven't been on Teams in a while. So, on there. So Impact Business Capital, we are an authorized lender of the U.S. Small Business Administration. We are located here in Ontario, California, and we serve all of California. So I appreciate the presentations from Mr. Earl and Ms. Aguiana, because they are great partners to us. We do partner with a lot of other organizations in order to serve small businesses, new entrepreneurs, and those businesses that are looking to excel towards their in their growth as well. So AMPAC, as I stated, is a nonprofit, mission-based lender authorized by the U.S. Small Business Administration to provide financing, as we say, from cradle to legacy. So we service small businesses that are in the startup phase on up through, as Assemblywoman Reyes mentioned, who are looking to on their succession plan and what they can do to plan to that. And we'll go into a little bit of that. Is one of the best ways to do that is as a business owner, if you can own your own property. So we'll get into that a little bit. We exist, we are a 501c3. We are also a certified development financial institution, which is regulated through the Department of Treasury. That allows us to provide mission-based loans that are not traditionally available through banking partners. And there are a limited number of mission-based lenders under this. So while there are some other certified development companies, CDCs, that provide SBA programs in our market area, there's only very few that offer the breadth of products that we are able to offer under our CDFI. So as we say, we uplift communities, we strengthen families, and we advance entrepreneurial dreams. So what AMPAC does, what do we do? We provide government-backed loans for private loans for growing businesses. Our smallest loan, a micro loan, starts at $5,000. Ian will cover in detail some of our loan programs for our small business loans. And then our projects, we can finance projects with our real estate program that have exceeded $25 million for businesses on there. So we provide SBA loans under the SBA 504 loan program, which is used for purchasing, refinancing, buildings, could be for ground up construction improvements, and long-term equipment that can be financed for a business. And we have lent over $1 billion in our 504 loan program. So we also provide direct loans for working capital, as I mentioned, and Ian will go into that, which is our micro loan, some small state guarantee loans, and small SBA 7A loans that go up to $350,000. Again, it's direct loans that we provide, and we've been doing this for over 15 years at this point. So on there. So we say we do business advising and best fit lending partners. So oftentimes we have lending partners who will traditional banks who maybe are reaching out to us to partner with on a loan with, but also maybe they are not able to provide the financing for that business. So they reach out to us knowing we have the other programs available, or maybe we have other partnerships that can facilitate and help that business. So I think that's a really important point, that just because a business owner is told no one place doesn't mean it's no everywhere. So having a partner like AMPAC, who is active in the SBA loan programs and has multiple lending partnerships and can provide technical assistance, is just very critical for a business owner to help find the appropriate capital. And Ian may even go into a little bit about how we're helping some businesses that may have gotten into some of those merchant advance loans, and how we're able to help some of those business owners at this time too. So I'm going to introduce Ian Aguilar at this point. He's going to talk about our training programs and our wonderful entrepreneur ecosystem.
Here at AMPAC Business Capital, basically what we like to do, specifically here in the entrepreneur ecosystem, the division that I work under, we like to say that a decline is more of a delay. It's a not now, and we like to show, especially in the ecosystem, where business owners can improve to be lender ready. So we do that through a variety of training programs, especially through the resources available on our mobile app, and it's literally the Entrepreneur Ecosystem app. So we've hosted several training programs, one collaboration with the City of Ontario, and hosted one on our own, which was the Leap to Launch program. And basically we do all this to get business owners ready for lending. So there's lots of criteria that goes into both commercial lending as well as commercial real estate financing that can be a lot to wrap your head around. So what we do here in the ecosystem is once you decide that you're ready, we help you build your loan packages, we help you get ready to present yourself in the correct way, and help connect you to resources that can help bridge that gap. So not only do we provide assistance with getting loans together in the first place, we also provide resources through the SBDC, SCORE, and Women's Business Center to help you get to that point, both financially, technically, and really offer an all-encompassing resource to help you get lender ready. So next slide. So why do we choose Ampac Business Capital? We value saying yes when others have said no. So again, we get into the first place that as a small business owner that we think to go to is our banking institution. So we think Bank of America, US Bank, Chase, all the large banking institutions. Well, they have very strict criteria when it comes to their commercial lending programs, especially for small businesses. And it can be anywhere between being 3 to 5 years in existence, having a certain profitability threshold. As a small business owner, it means having a certain credit criteria. And those can be very difficult to reach. We like to expand access to capital by lowering those requirements and making it achievable. So like Janine had mentioned before, we have microloan programs. So one of the things that can be an issue for small business owners to access capital is the amount that you have to finance. So banks don't like to really do anything below, what would you say, Janine, 250,000?
Very often.
Yeah, very often they don't like to go below $250,000. So we offer a microloan program that goes as low as $50,000. And we do go all the way up to $350,000. But in this case, what you're getting with a microloan, anything below $50,000 is you can get startup working capital, you can purchase equipment, you can use it for tenant improvements or lease space improvements. The only thing that we can't do with it is debt refinance, unfortunately, which is a bit of a pain point for us because you get that sweet 6 to 7% fixed interest rate. So that in today's market, prime is 8.5% plus a lender's tack-on fees. So that's going to be minimum anywhere between 9 all the way up to 16% for depending on who you go to. So with us, with the microloan program, you get a 6 to 7% fixed interest rate for 7 years. So we also do have available a minority small business loan for our women, Black and Latino-owned businesses that's designed to support our underserved communities. We put it on a 5-year term with a 5% fixed interest, as well as an opportunity to either receive a grant and interest rate reduction for on-time payments, basically showing that you are responsible with the credit that we've provided. We want to reward you for that behavior. Moving on to some of our other programs. So moving on to our SBA 7A Community Advantage. So this was originally a pilot program that the SBA was using, just testing out, seeing if this is something that small business owners and lenders want to utilize. This is a very flexible finance program. So you can use it to start your business. You can use it to acquire another business. You can use it to buy out an owner on your business. So let's say you want to a business owner wants to retire, they can either sell their portion of the ownership or sell you the business, and you can use the 7A to acquire it. You can use it to franchise, you can use it to purchase equipment and debt restructure, as well as tenant improvements. So this can be on a 10 or 25-year term, depending on the use. Specifically, 25 applies to commercial real estate purchases, if you can find a property that low, but I think we'd prefer to use 504 for that, which we'll get into. And so going into some of that criteria, that banking criteria that I was talking about earlier, so these are the underwriting guidelines that we adhere to at Ampac as of today. They could update in the future, but this is where we're at right now. So minimum borrower DSCR, what does that mean? It just means for every dollar that you're seeking to borrow, we want you to have $1.10 to match it. So you're looking to borrow, let's say, $50,000. For that first year of loan payments, we want you to have $1.10 to match that payment. So make sure that you have the ability to repay, because I know a loan seems like a solution to a lot of our problems, but sometimes if you don't have the cash flow or the ability to repay it, then it can be not a great loan for you. So that's what we want to do here at AMPAC, is provide good loans that support your businesses, not that drag it down, like Janine was talking about with the merchant cash advance loans, which I can talk about more in just a second. We have a minimum credit criteria of 640 with no derogatories reported in the last 2 years. So no late payments, no charge-offs, no foreclosures or bankruptcies in the last 2 years. That's what we want to see, ideally. We want to see we will take specifically a UCC filing, a UCC1, which is a blanket filing. This will happen with a bank loan. So they'll typically take a UCC and a lien on your personal property. Where it is possible and it makes sense, we like to leave it just at business assets. So we like to leave the risk of losing your residence off the table wherever possible. An SBSS score, you can just think of that as your business's credit score. Just like you have a personal FICO score, and in this range is a minimum of 640. Ours is a 155 for your business's credit score. It's measured in a different way. And if it's your first time handling business credit, generally you meet this criteria. So in general, so it does work out with other factors that we won't get into today. No additional collateral requirements. This is what I was talking about earlier. We like to keep the personal residence off where possible, and especially in the case of 504, additional collateral isn't as required as often. And then equity requirements for a startup is 10%. All that means is that if you're coming to us for a loan, let's say it's a $50,000 loan, we want to see equity in the business of 10%. That means you're coming to us with a project that's going to cost you $50,000. We're going to ask that you put $5,000 in, anywhere between $500,000 to $750,000 to meet a 10 to 15% equity injection into your business. Because we don't want to own your business outright. We don't want to have 100% of it be financed through debt. You want to own some of your business. Okay, perfect. Then Janine's going to touch on our preferred industries.
Thank you. I'm going to try to talk a little louder. Are you able to hear me okay now? If somebody wants to give me a thumbs up, that would be great.
It sounds better. Thank you, Janine.
Okay, thank you. So, in lending, there are often preferred industries that lenders like to look at. And these are some of the preferred ones for our small loan programs. Would be professionals, physicians and dentists, veterinarians, pharmacists, auto repair, plumbing and heating and air conditioning services and so forth on there. We do a lot of personal services. We do tend to do quite a bit, and that's not even on here. We've been seeing a lot of restaurants. Again, the franchises make it stronger because you do have the backing of the franchisor. So this is not an all-inclusive list, so we're happy to talk to anybody, but the business must be for profit. So I'm going to go into a list of some things that are not eligible for any type of lending under the Small Business Administration. So we lend to for-profit entities. So nonprofit entities are not eligible for SBA financing. I'll deviate a little bit in there. So we do sometimes have borrowers who say they're purchasing a building and they have a for-profit entity that will occupy the required amount of 51%, but they also run a nonprofit. They could have the nonprofit in there as a tenant under the with the for-profit entity. So that is a possibility. We also do not look at businesses that are engaged in lending themselves. Now, unless they're doing some loan servicing, so forth. But if they are also a lender like a bank, they're holding loans, we cannot lend to them. Passive businesses, meaning all you're doing is collecting rents. Excuse me, for such as an apartment building or a mobile home park, those are not eligible. There is really no business there. Our program is about supporting jobs and economic development on there. So those are considered investor properties, and you would need to seek financing through a traditional bank or other types of lenders. So we cannot lend to a business that is located in a foreign country. For us, we are licensed presently only in the state of California. In terms of citizenship, we looked that our businesses are at least 51% or more owned by a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. So we must have that. There can be others in ownership, but we need to see 51% or more of the business owned by U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident green card holders. Very strict on that. Thank you. Businesses engaged in gambling, we are not going to do that. Now, if you have a C-store, liquor store, and they have a small amount of their income coming in from state lottery sales, that could be eligible on there. Marijuana, nothing even remotely to do with marijuana. These are federal programs. We cannot lend on anything having to do that. And when we say indirect, I cannot lend to a business that makes cabinetry and display cases for the marijuana business. They don't sell it, but they're getting income directly from the cannabis business. I cannot lend on that. It's a very broad reach on that. Also, businesses that restrict patronage for any reason other than for capacity. So if it's for gender or anything else, we cannot lend on that. It must be open to all. Nothing that is naughty, so no prurient or sexual materials on that. Speculative businesses are multi-level marketing. So speculative businesses would be something like a developer who is going to purchase a piece of land, build homes, and then sell them. They're building them. They don't have buyers yet. That's speculative. We cannot lend on that. And then also, if a business has had a prior loss to the government, the federal government, defaulted on any SBA loan or other federal debt, you are ineligible to get further SBA assistance until that loan is paid in full, including all interest and fees. If you took out a PPP loan or an EIDL loan during SBA, we're encouraging all business owners to go to the SBA website and my SBA loan portal, log in and make sure register and make sure all of your loans are current. So there are a number of businesses that are having problems with the EIDL loan. It was massively confusing during that time. So some people, because of the deferments, but please do try to make sure if you did get the EIDL loan and you aren't making your payments on it yet, you should be. So there are resources to assist you on that. So the SBA 504 loan, this is kind of our premier program here at AMPAC that we offer. And this is to allow business owners to purchase, construct, renovate their owner user commercial real estate. And as we talked about, you want to, what's your exit plan? What's your succession plan and building wealth? Well, owning your own property is really the best way to do that. So you can own the property for your business, and then that could be left to your heirs who are going to take over. Just a really great way to build your legacy and your succession plan on that. The program can also be used to purchase machinery and equipment that is more longer term, has a useful life of 10 years. Now, our program does not allow you to finance any type of vehicles or trucks. Although we can do heavy machinery and equipment, we could also do heavy mobile construction equipment, could be eligible as well on this. And we also, if you are a business owner who already owns a property, we are also doing debt refinance. So there are a number of business owners who may have used the other program, which is a great program, the SBA 7A through a bank. You may have an adjustable rate that has had a number of increases in the rate over the last couple of years. We are able to refinance certain 7A loans and put them into a much lower cost fixed rate with the 504. Can also use that for refinance with expanding the business. And our program does allow financing up to 90%, and it is a long-term, low fixed rate. So we know there are a lot of business owners that saying, I would love to own my building. My business is doing great, but I don't even have the cash. You said 90% financing, and I can barely pull together that 10% to put down on it. Well, AMPAC has come up with an exclusive program that is exclusive to AMPAC, which is a down payment assistance in the form of liquidity replacement. And we have two programs I'm going to discuss. The first one is for our underserved entrepreneurs. So when we have a business that is 51% or more owned by a woman of any ethnicity, or is 51% Black or Latino owned of any gender, and they're seeking to purchase a building for their business, this will have and utilize an SBA 504 program through AMPAC, or if it's one of those smaller ones that we mentioned, you can be under 350,000 and use our other program. It allows you to get up to 1/2 of the required down payment, not to exceed 100,000, back to use for your working capital. So for example, you purchase a building for $2 million and you need to put $200,000 down, that's 10%. This will allow you to get up to 1/2 of that back in the form of a term loan. They're very favorable terms, and we will do that right after you close escrow. So you will still come and bring your required down payment in, but very often you're scraping together, and that post-closing liquidity, your cash crunch afterwards could, be tough for you as you're transitioning to this new building. So the terms of this would be a 10-year amortization or payment spread over 10 years. It will have a maturity of 5 years, and the loan is fixed at 5% for the life of the loan. Not too many 5% fixed rates out there right now. There's no prepayment penalty on it. We will not put a lien on the property for that particular loan. For this program, on that loan for the liquidity replacement, there would be no payment until the 13th month after it is funded. So the interest will accrue, but this allows you time to get into your building, and then you can start making the payments on this. For your 504 loan for the building purchase and financing, you would make your regular payments as you would need to. So in order to bring access to capital to more business owners, and to be able to purchase more, we also brought in a first-time commercial real estate buyer program. So this one has no gender or ethnicity requirements. We're just looking for business owners who are making the first purchase of a property for their business. You may own a home already, you may own other real estate, but this is the first purchase for this particular business. And we can see that you are going to deplete your cash resources after making that down payment. In same terms, the only thing is you would not be able to defer the payments for the first 12 months. They would start immediately after funding the next month. So same thing, 10 years amortization and 5% fixed rate. So it's a great way for a business to get in. Now, also, if the business is in an underserved market, something we call low to moderate income areas, opportunity zones, labor surplus areas, which are federally designated, that would also qualify a property owner buying their first building in one of those areas to be eligible for this program. So a little bit about the 504 real quickly is that it's a loan that provides financing to small businesses, as I mentioned, to acquire, construct, improve, or refinance their commercial real estate. Owner occupied is defined as the owner must occupy at least 51% of the rentable square footage, but you can lease out up to 49% long-term to have additional income. If we were to do a ground-up construction, the occupancy must be 60% to start, with a goal to be at 80% within 10 years. Ground-up construction is a little bit different. So as I mentioned, we can do longer-term equipment. We finance up to 90% of the purchase and eligible costs on there. And if the property is considered special use, which I have a description of in there, it would ask for an additional 5% down, or if it's a startup, also a 5% startup defined as less than 2 years in operation. We're also know, well, what is the definition of a small business? Well, it's actually pretty big. So we're looking at a tangible net worth of the business to be not more than $20 million, and your annual net income, net, not your top line revenue, your net income after federal taxes not to exceed 6.5 million on average over the last 2 years. So small is relative with Small Business Administration. So we can finance some pretty big businesses under that. So these are the standard businesses. So we're looking at office, medical, warehouse, manufacturing, retail, restaurant. We do preschools and daycare, self-storage, trucking and contractor yards, auto repair. Those special use ones that would require a 5% down. That would be your gas stations and car washes, wineries. We do hotels and motels, a lot of different things, wineries, so forth. So a lot of property types are eligible. And I'll just say that if you go into a bank and they say that's not eligible, it just may not be eligible for that bank. Not every bank is going to lend on every type of property, but it may be SBA eligible. So unfortunately, may need to find a different bank. So it's a partnership program between a bank or other participating lender, the SBA through a CDC like AMPAC, and you, the borrower. So our typical structure, it's not always this way, but would be the bank would have a first lien at 50%. We would bring in 40%, and you come in with as little as 10%. An example of our rates on our second trustee for May is 25 years fixed at 6.55 and 20-year fixed is 6.65. So these tend to be below market of what you're seeing from many of the banks. There is a green program. So some of our business owners tend to, if we think about the hotels and the gas stations and car washes, many business owners like to, once they have one, they start to have more. And there's a green program that if you use, have energy savings or energy generation through solar or wind, you can have multiple 504 loans and keep growing your business with multiple properties. There's a lot of detail to this. I'm happy to explain to anybody interested in that in more detail. Debt refinance, as I mentioned, if you already own a property and you're looking to refinance, you can refinance up to 90% of the value, or if you want cash out for working capital, you can cash out up to 20% of the value, and then our maximum LTV is 85%. If you went to a traditional bank, you might be limited to somewhere between 65 and 75%. So this allows you to get some cash out for working capital and get into a lower fixed rate. Ian is going to, so that's about it on the 504 program. Ian is going to talk a little bit more on our entrepreneur ecosystem.
Thank you so much, Janine. And Ian, we look forward to hearing from you. I know that there are some questions that are coming up. We want to save a little bit of time for those questions, if we could.
We will. I'm going to speed run through the rest of this since I already talked about it a little bit.
Excellent. Thank you.
The entrepreneur ecosystem, specifically our mobile app, and we can put a link into our chat and send it out afterwards as well. But basically what it is that we want to offer small business owners resources basically 24/7. So what we have on there is, first of all, coaching. So we have accesses to links and events from SBDC, SCORE, the WBC or the Women's Business Center, and it has all of their training and webinars and pre-recorded seminars that they have on business ownership, managing cash flow, getting ready for financing available there, because basically having to hunt down all that stuff as a small business owner can be difficult. You're already a full-time business owner. You work that thing 24/7 because it's your baby. So it can be difficult to go out and find those resources for yourself. So we have it all in one spot for you guys to get it as easy and quick as at the tip of your fingers. So 24/7 mobile app support there. We also have capital resources. So in addition to the loan programs that AMPAC provides, We also have all of the grant programs that we are either administering or aware of. So grants just being, free money that you can apply for. They do have certain eligibility criteria. A lot of them typically want you to be in business for at least 1 year or 2 years. They may want you to fall into certain demographic groups like minority-owned business or women-owned business. But it really depends, and you need to sort through those grant programs. We do have that available on our capital resource slide. And the other thing is that we realized the reason we developed the entrepreneur ecosystem is that being a small business owner can be sort of a lonely affair. So what we do is we try to get as many, we currently have about 2,100 active users on our app to provide community resources. So that way you can communicate with other entrepreneurs and startup business owners or active business owners. So that way you have and are surrounded by people who are like-minded, because it can be difficult to find someone who's willing to put everything they have into their small business. So really that's the whole point of the entrepreneur ecosystem, to provide you small business owners with coaching, capital, and community. So making that nice, sweet, yes, and simple. All right, so that way we can get into
some Q&A.
Yeah.
All right. Ian, thank you so much. Janine, Jessica, Chris, thank you so much for your presentations. There are a few questions that were put into the chat room. I know some of these could be long answers, but let's go with short answers. Okay, and then we'll make sure that those who have asked the question can then follow up with you. The first question I saw was, do you offer lines of credit?
So unfortunately, no, we only offer the term loans that we've described before. We do have several partners in our ecosystem that do offer lines of credit that we could make an introduction to.
I will tell you that one of the times that I had met with AMPAC, this entrepreneur ecosystem, this app, it's just absolutely amazing. You can put information in there, put your questions in there, and it provides so much information. I mean, my staff, it's easy for them, but when I started looking at these apps, they just seem so difficult. This one is not, and it does provide a whole lot of information. All right, here's another question. What do you consider prurient or sexual materials? We are a platform to support intimacy post-cancer treatment marketed at hospitals.
So Tiffany, we will be reaching out to you individually because that gets into a bit of a gray zone. Typically, we're referring to explicitly prurient sexual nature.
This is a medical, obviously this is medical, so I definitely want to talk to you more about that.
Yeah, so we'll want to reach out to you on an individual basis. So we'll be exploring that with you.
Thank you so much for doing that. Here's another question. Do you offer loans or lines of credit to used car dealers?
So we do offer loans to used auto parks. We do offer those loans. We don't offer lines of credit like we mentioned before. So yes, we do offer loans to used auto.
Yeah, we're not doing flooring lines as somebody may typically think of for auto, but we have provided term loans. We also can finance the property if they want to own the property for their dealership.
All right. Is a podcast studio or film studio eligible for a 504 loan?
Well, as long as you're not doing anything naughty or with cannabis on there, it very well could be. So we have a lecture studio.
All right. And that's important to know what the rules are. What are the rules of engagement? And then you just work within those rules. Sure. Lisa asked if this is being recorded. It is. And my office normally puts these up and makes them available on our website. But we'll make sure that that my team also provides these to you. Will the slides be made available? That's to our presenters.
We are able to do that. If you could just let us know where to put those, we can send them to your office for sure.
Wonderful. We will have all of the slides, all the presentations. So is that good, Jessica?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And Chris, I think you were just giving us all sorts of stuff. I'm sure you have something also you can provide to us, and we'd love to provide it to all the participants. Who would I talk to help me figure out what type of business license to apply for?
So we would actually recommend that you speak to the consultants at the SBDC, which we are more than happy to make an introduction to. That's a large part. My role here is to connect people with the proper consultant at the SBDC or SCORE or WBC.
Excellent. And Tiffany has provided her email address. Amanda asked, do you offer loans to small institutes of education?
As long as they're for profit, yes.
Okay. How can I get in contact with you? We will provide, for those of you who registered, we will provide you with the contact information. It is in the chat. If you scroll to the top of the chat, all of their information is there.
I'm going to put my chat. I haven't done that yet.
All right, and Jessica put it in again. All right, now here are 3 other questions that were sent over. On the California drought and flood relief, does it open or does it close on May 31st? And can we get technical help to fill out the forms? Are you still there, Chris?
I am. Sorry, I was on mute. So the program opens on the 31st. And as far as the technical help, yes, so you can actually reach out either directly through our office. We have our help desk, but then also we do have partner organizations who are supporting as well. And so if you wanted to send me a note, I can get you in touch with one of the partner orgs and they can kind of walk you through their steps of kind of how they go and assist businesses.
Excellent. And Alicia asks, does technical assistance include access to a point of sale and inventory device? Ooh. Anyone?
What was the question?
Does technical assistance include access to a point of sale and inventory device?
So unfortunately, it does not. We do not provide merchant services.
Okay.
But we may have resource partners who do on our app.
Wonderful. And another is, one of the loans that you talked about had restrictions. Are there different kinds of loans for different kinds of reasons that wouldn't have the same restrictions?
I think that is more on an individual basis, depending on the use of proceeds. So we can explore that individually. We've dropped our contact information in the chat. You can reach out to us and we can assist you from there.
And then another question, I love this one. How are you able to provide free services to us as small business owners? That's because they're great. And they just, this is their mission.
Yes. So we, a lot of ways, you know, we are nonprofit, but through our loan programs, you know, we do get some income off of those. We put those back out on the community to provide these programs. We also receive grants ourselves, and we get assistance from the SBA to continue this and do the outreach. So.
Yeah, and I would also say we, as the California Office of the Small Business Advocate, we support small business organizations to the tune of about $26 million annually. Wow. To organizations like the SBDCs, AMPAC, as well as part of our SSBCI program and others, so that they can go and support those businesses in their communities at no cost. So we partner with the federal government, the SBA, but we also support organizations directly ourselves through the state.
How about some closing comment? Let's do 1 minute closing comment from each of you. Can we? All right, Jessica, let's start with you. You turned on your camera.
I just want to tell everyone that it's very important for you to connect yourself to different organizations. Start with one. Start with one organization, ask them questions, and I promise you it will be a snowball effect because we're here as a one team, as one community. And if I can help you, I will refer you out to other organizations and it just becomes a snowball effect. So definitely plug yourself to an organization that has the mission of supporting you as a small business owner.
Wonderful. Chris? Oh, you're muted.
Jump right in. I'll jump right in here. But you know, my last word is just Take advantage of the network and the resources, kind of piggybacking on Jessica's comment. These resources are at no cost to you all. These come out of your taxpayer dollars. So take advantage of it, utilize the resources. We are here for you. And please, give us feedback, give our partners feedback. We want to improve the services. If there's areas where, hey, you guys need to beef this up, or I don't see a support here, these are things that we need to know so that our office can work towards, providing solutions to that. So we want to bring in the feedback. Want to keep getting better in our support for small businesses. So take advantage of the network. We're all interconnected. I've partnered with Jessica and her team on stuff. I've partnered with MPAC and their team. So, and your office as well, Assemblywoman. So, I mean, there's a lot that we all can leverage together. So take advantage of the network and the power of us together. So that's my word.
Thank you, Chris. MPAC.
Thank you. So yes, I'm going to agree with that. There's so many resources out there. And I guess we're all kind of like the best kept secret, and how do we not become a secret anymore? So use the SBDCs, the Small Business Development Centers, great resources for that. We're happy to make those connections. I would just say, as a business owner, if you are looking to grow and you need to borrow to do that, be prepared. Know your numbers. Understand your financial statements. And if you are having trouble with that, that's what all these resources are here for, to get you to where we need. As Ian said, a no today doesn't mean a no forever. We want to get you to where you need to do. Ian, would you like to?
Yeah, definitely just following up with that. Agreeing with everybody else, use the resources ahead of you, get to know your numbers. Most importantly, for at least for our purposes, know your financials. If you can, create a financial statement every quarter, check in on your business like you would check in on your health. For a lot of you attending here today, your business is your livelihood. So you should know your numbers, like you should know your blood pressure or cholesterol levels, because checking in on your health of your business is just as important.
And I think the blood pressure will go down once your business, you get connect with all these people. Exactly. I do want to say that if we look at the statistics, clearly all of you as small business owners, you are so important to the economy. And knowing you are so important, you have to know that there are people that are willing to help you to succeed and to grow. And that's the reason we're putting this together. I want you to know that there are resources out there, that they are available to you. You have people you can call. It isn't just a big organization. You have people you can call and get answers from. And I'm very excited that you all have provided this. Now, I know Ivana came on because she's going to remind me that I have to let you all know that we do have a Small Business of the Year award. We select every year a Small Business of the Year. And this is coming up. We're already accepting nominations. Is that right, Ivana? All right. So Ivana is from my office. Maha Rizvi from my team is also on this Zoom. So is Michael Townsend. I have wonderful people for my team. So submit your nominations. If you want to have the form, please call my office or email us. We want you to be part of this. We want you to help us recognize those small businesses that are doing more than just having a business. It's always an honor to represent. There it is. Thank you, Maha. There's the link to nominate. I want to thank all of you for participating, and please know that we are here to help you. We are here to connect you to the resources. I may not be able to tell you about all these loans, but I can tell you who can help you. I also recommend that you join a Chamber of Commerce or two. Those are really important. You get to network, you get to meet others, and somebody may give you an idea that you hadn't thought about earlier, or they may be able to tell you how they succeeded in their business. There's a lot of help out there, and I want you to know that we're here for you, and we're providing as many resources as we can. And each one of these speakers is a wealth of knowledge, and they'll be able to provide countless resources to you as well. Ivana, did you have anything else? We're good? All right. Well, thank you all so very much for joining us. This has been recorded. It'll be posted. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.